to Before Now by C.G. Blaine, performed in Duet by M.K. Blackwood and Christian Fox. So firstly, let's just say I finally finished crying, we think. I mean, I might start again while I'm talking about it, who freaking knows. So, funnily, I never actually originally signed up for this ALC when it was first offered. And then people were just talking about it so much that people were like, wait a minute, why didn't I sign up? Like, we kind of had a bit of FOMO, and so they, Muscle Audio, took pity on us, I think, and said, you know what, normally we don't do this, but we're going to open it up again, and you basically have today, and we will do it. And mine was a little bit different though. The reason I didn't was because we were provided a list of trigger and content warnings, and I was concerned that it was going to be too much for me, and so I didn't sign up. So I spoke to somebody that had already listened, and they talked me through what to expect, and I felt that it's something that I could deal with. For the one particular trigger that it looked like was included, and so I was like, okay, that's fine. And so I'm so glad that I reached out and I did that, because honestly this is up there with one of my favourites that I've done this year. The story, the production, the narration, I mean, I joked when I finished listening that this was my first MK Blackwood book and it was going to be my last because I was so emotional. I'm not putting myself through this torture again. And then, as most people know, I've been listening to Christian Fox for a very long time, and I was like, and I'm never listening to him again either. I was very dramatic. Look, a person has the right to be dramatic if they want to, when they've been subjected to what I've been subjected to with this book. But honestly, so the book, like, let's just start like with the title. It's just so genius, right? So Before Now, like, I just assumed the title was like Before Now, but actually when you're doing it, you're like, oh, this is perfect, because it's like a dual timeline, and we see them in the before scenes and in the now scenes, and the before scenes are really such fun scenes because it's done in the fact that they are never together. The whole before is them connecting virtually. They are on an app or they are on a phone. They are never in the presence of one another, and I loved that. And I thought it was such a brilliant way of showcasing how two people can connect on an emotional level and build up a friendship and more, to have that connection without ever seeing one another, without ever being in the same proximity to one another. I will say I did kind of go off on a with it, because on the one hand I was like, yeah, because, you know, I have friends that, some of which I've never met in person, but they're my people. But then on the other hand, my whole life imploded because my husband made a connection with somebody in a different country. So, you know, I see it from both sides. So on the one hand I'm like, yeah, and on the other hand I'm like, fuck this. So, you know. But so I loved that. And then obviously they connect in the now and they're together. And it was very easy to follow the before and now. They do, you know, announce that it's before and then now for the chapters. I loved all like the band and the people that are surrounded with the band, and definitely want all of their stories. There's a cameo of someone that I think, if there's another Rockstar book series that you may have done, that you will see someone familiar that I think you'll love. Unlike some people, I'm not going to ruin that for you, because I think that is a great sort of in the moment thing. Unfortunately, not everybody gets that, and I think it's just such fun when that happens and you get those sort of like crossover moments. And these characters, so we have Foster, also Adams, his stage name, and Remy, they have been through so much. They have so much trauma and are dealing with their past experience and who they are now and who they want to be to each other, but those past hurts keep creeping in and it's preventing them from moving forward. And they both carry a lot of guilt and a lot of blame for things that was never their fault. They were both victims of circumstance and victims of the actions of other people. And hearing their story and what they were experiencing was just heartbreaking. And the entire videos of me like just sobbing as I'm hearing these sort of reveals, and when we kind of get to that part of the book where the reveals are fast and furiously happening, these connections and how they're connected, and then when Foster finally, because he does do some dickish stuff, like come on, but and when they're here, am I right? When he decides, you know what, I need to make things right, the things this man does, my God, my heart. I mean, if any part of me was not sold on him, it would have been sold. The things he did, nearly every single one had me in tears. I was like, not another one, God damn it. And I loved the fact that Remy got the last laugh. Like, hell yes. We all know I get violent. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. As for production, the production was absolutely fantastic. As you know, it's a duet narration, and Christian Fox sings in this, and I do think it elevates the production to have that in it, and he sounds great. Now, MK Blackwood as Remy was such a perfect choice. The way she just encompassed Remy and everything she was, the vulnerability, the resilience, and how was this woman resilient? The amount of trauma that she had and the way she performed it, it was an absolute stellar performance. And I might have joked that I wasn't going to listen again, but I can assure you I will absolutely be listening again. And not only that, but checking out everything I can find, because absolutely 100% brilliant. And if you haven't listened yet, you are missing out, and you need to right now, right this second, go. And Christian Fox was brilliant as Foster. I think he, again, same as MK, has this character that is, you know, in this position of being in the public eye and having that sense of everything at his feet, but dealing with his past and the vulnerabilities that has, and I think he conveyed that really well, and the hurt that he felt and the betrayal, and I think it was just fantastic. And yeah, the singing was definitely something you should, like, for nothing else, just listen to that. Absolutely fantastic. One of the best books of the year. I mean, I'm gonna say it, all the awards, and I do not say that lightly, unlike some people.